President Trump is imposing a new 50% tariff on a range of goods from Canada, and some of those goods include alcoholic beverages, honey, and even hockey equipment. The White House says it's in response to Canada's tariffs on U.S. auto products and goods last year. But Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney argues those were imposed to match previous tariffs on Canadian goods. The new tariffs are set to take effect on August 19th. Let's go live now to our Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady. Hey, Kelly, so what could be the impact of these new tariffs on Americans?
People drink more bourbon, less Canadian whiskey, Mugo, possibly. But look, we've been here before, right? We have seen the United States and Canada trade barbs back and forth. One day, I remember about a year ago, it was going to be 100% tariffs, and then Ontario was going to tariff us right back. And then a couple days later, it had all been sorted out. But broadly, if these were to go into effect, and we still have a month to go where both sides could negotiate some kind of deal, you would see prices likely rise, because unlike some of the deals that have been negotiated with other countries where the tariffs were at 10% or 20%, 50% is quite hefty. That would be a lot for a business to swallow versus at least having to pass some of that on to the consumer. Now, the good news is that these goods are not energy, which we get a lot of from Canada. It's not potash, which is integral to farming. You see sort of the range of goods that the president is threatening to tariff be very localized versus some of the things that we engage with a lot more. That being said, this is also happening with the backdrop of the very important USMCA agreement between the United States, Mexico, and Canada. That was the trade agreement that replaced NAFTA during Trump's first term. That is currently being renegotiated. So I would take an educated guess that this threat of a tariff is a negotiating tactic.
I think you're probably right about that. Again, as you mentioned there, 50%, that is a whole lot. So how are markets reacting to the news of the tariffs?
So you aren't really seeing much of a reaction from markets. We go back a year ago, plus you saw so much volatility up and down. I think at this point, investors have kind of grown accustomed to it, especially with tariffs. And they're kind of saying, okay, let's see if it actually goes into effect. That being said, we are getting a warning from JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon, right? He's always sort of warning of doom and gloom. He was on a podcast the other day and he mentioned that people are underestimating the risks when it comes to the war in Ukraine, when it comes to the war in Iran, with the national debt and where inflation may be going. Nice. I will caveat that and say that Jamie Dimon has a lot of times said that there's going to be some horrible thing that's coming, and it hasn't come to fruition yet. But certainly you take notice when someone like him says those kinds of remarks.
Of course. I love that you're like, he always does this. Okay, let's just calm down for a bit. Kelly O'Grady, thank you so much. I love the hair, by the way. Just had to mention that. Thank you for your time today.